to roll into, but we're just going to go right into it this time.
We're going to go.
Hey, everyone.
Yeah.
Welcome to another episode of Spilling Ink, the talk show that takes you behind the book to meet the authors and professionals in the publishing industry. And we've got two guests to talk to tonight. And Jane, hi, as always. How are we doing?
I'm good. I'm retired.
We all have
You've been waiting for this day for the longest time.
Yes. Yeah. This past week has been glorious. Hi, Anita.
Hey, Anita.
So yes.
So what was the first thing you did the day you were retired to celebrate?
Well, they had a little party for us the day before we left. The day we were supposed to leave, we were going to go in to give our computers and then leave, but you know, Darren being as overachiever type thing, he was still sitting with somebody transferring knowledge until 11, and then we left and drove home. We had a tree taken down, and I wrote. And I slept in late.
There you go.
Yes.
I was waiting for that.
I slept in late. Yes, we had nowhere to be, nothing to do, and it's just beautiful.
Now, who is this stranger sitting next to you?
This is Josh.
Hi, everybody.
I say stranger, but people who've watched the show, you know this face.
Yes.
Yeah. So folks, my name is Josh. I can call myself a digital nomad. I think that's an accurate term now.
Mm-hmm.
I have literally gone cross country in Canada. I went from Victoria, BC to New Glasgow, Nova Scotia. Anita's here. She was the one person I missed because where the Mary was and where she was, there's no easy way to connect to. All right. So Anita, I'm really sorry because you were somebody I really wanted to see too. But I've done that. And now I'm in Maine. I'm at the end of Maine. I'm going to be going into Boston tomorrow, and I'm going to be continuing my journey. I'm racing the clock now to get to Detroit. It's my family's there, folks. It's not because it's not how to put this. I love the people that are there. The place, not so much. I think that's a good way of saying it.
Okay.
Yeah. So digital nomad, Joshua Pintoresco at your service. So,
well, welcome, and we're glad to have you. We've got one more to introduce. Yeah. Sudi, you've been on the show before, but welcome back. And I know you've got a great new book to talk about.
Yes. Well, hopefully everyone thinks it's great. Fork Social Media and the Algorithm that wrote it on Jailbird Stories.
I think I've got a picture of it here.
I love
the title just got me. When you sent me that, I was like, yes, I love this.
And the cover, well, we shot the cover here I'm really behind like the fence of the pool gate. But Tim Haggerty did the design for it. So he took the picture and he put the people in the back, and I think I was holding the fork the other way, and that looked too menacing. So flipped it over, and then he added the shush your mouth and all that stuff on it. So Tim Haggerty from Haggerty Designs did a great job on the cover.
I love it.
I'm just going to say, I just did a real quick glance here about the author. You missed a golden opportunity. You could talk about the kind of fork you welded, and you didn't get a chance to do it. Should have. Very good. Since you guys, this is the fork he uses on Facebook, just cuz. And then
the fork is very important to the whole book because that's how the book got started. Kind of, I got put in Facebook jail for saying stick a fork in him, he's done, meaning his career was over.
Yeah.
And the algorithm thought I was promoting violence, like you're going to literally stick a fork in someone. And so I was banned for like 30 days. I couldn't post. And there was a couple other times similar things happened with the algorithm not understanding a word. And I realized a lot of people had these stories where they were being punished and banned, restricted on Facebook, Instagram. And so I collected a lot of these stories, and the book was born. I always take my pain and turn it into hopefully humor and share it with people.
I love that. And raise your hand if you've had a Facebook jail misunderstanding story or any social media misunderstanding. I think we all can relate to that. Oh my goodness.
Yes.
And even, it's funny, the book is good. Even if people don't use social media a lot or they haven't had that experience, they can relate to the part where you can't get through to a live person to clear up a simple matter. So when the algorithm doesn't understand, when I said, go jump in the Hudson River, and they said I was promoting suicide, the algorithm, the joke was about the Hudson River being polluted, I think. But if I could talk to a person for a minute, it would clear up the issue. No, you got to spend, 3 days writing or this or that, and you still don't get it cleared up. So I think people who deal with any company now or corporation will feel, laugh at some of the stories, but also feel the frustration of the
I
people.
love how common idioms that we all pretty much understand are the ones that really get it. I got it on Twitter. It was a couple years back. I said, if you give him enough rope, he's going to hang himself with it. That's an expression that's used, and I was thrown in jail for that too. It's like, come on, I wasn't promoting violence or suicide.
Right.
So for me, the magic word was cracker, ladies and gentlemen. Just the way, again, that's how you gotta execute it, right? Yeah. So I think, I'm gonna be blunt, social media is dumb. It really, really is. I just think it's dumb. This is a good example. I made a comment about Ritz crackers, the brand Ritz crackers. I actually made a little expression about Ritz crackers, and somehow Facebook thought I was racist. And because now cracker has another meaning, yes, it does. Yeah. But unfortunately, first off,
that's the brand, damn it.
Yeah. So I get a nice little comment. I was warned. I have never been officially in jail, but I was warned. I have sworn. I have said some profane stuff on my social media. Because me just being, me. And
really?
Yeah.
My drunk robot.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, they're not sharing, Anita. That's the problem. They're not sharing. Right? They are not sharing. And
I got to read this for the podcast listeners. Social media is run by drunk robots.
Yeah, that's right.
Thank you, Anita, for that.
It is robots.
It is. And so I and here's the part. They had at the time, there was this little thing where you can respond to the complaint. Now I hit the wrong button at that point because that's just how the universe works. Sometimes timing is everything. So I couldn't even fight the warning. So I have not used the word cracker since on Facebook. I am. It taught me a lesson.
Cracker Jack. I dare you.
No, but that's the words, just the word.
I just listen. I at some point just for purposes of promoting a book, I'm going to say every stupid thing on Facebook I can to end up in Facebook jail, just so my about the author thing could literally be this is the crime these are the crimes he committed while on Facebook using these words, right? These words got me a pass. These words got it's just.
And this is funny. Also the word scum. I think I got banned once. I said men are scum. Now obviously I'm a man. I'm kidding, but I got in Facebook jail. So when I went to post, I'm back from Facebook jail, and I was put in because I used the word, and then I spelled SCUUUM to trick the algorithm. No, the algorithm was not tricked, and I was back in Facebook jail. So there's certain words, and the idea is they are trying to weed out, bullying and harassing and dangerous rhetoric and all that kind of stuff. So the intention, I want to say, is good on their part, but they're not doing it the right way. They're punishing the wrong people.
It's AI.
I actually
I think it's AI.
I actually disagree with that a little bit.
Ooh, interesting.
What,
I got to debate.
No,
Never been so insulted. No.
Yeah. So for me, I don't. So in today's day and age, social media, I think it's dumb. We all do. But the fact of the matter is, for a lot of us, it's part of how we make our livings as creative people. And I'm very, very. I think one of the things is I think in general, in principle, everybody here is against hate speech or bullying in some kind of form or fashion. But the thing is, I have always been of the belief that free speech is the best police to free speech. Mm-hmm. And the idea that a company of any kind or any sort is going to come in and try to dictate what kind of things I can or cannot say, I don't think even with the best of intentions, any company is good enough to do that. And that doesn't matter. I don't care if it's Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. I don't think it's a healthy thing that a big company is trying to do this. I think if anything, we should be pushing back on these companies for trying this. I'm not saying again that people should be bullied or harassed, but I think on a personal note, if somebody's deliberately being a bigot, I want them to be out in the open so I know
Let people see that. Yeah.
Yeah, right. I would rather that.
Mhm.
It is a much better way to police people than it is to act. And for the other simple reason too, you can find, doesn't matter which social media algorithm one you use, you can find some profane garbage everywhere. Twitter is a cesspool, but so is Facebook. Facebook,
Yes.
right? Facebook has its own degree of it's not quite in the same spaces, but it's there. Instagram, same thing, right? They all have it. So the idea that so there's almost like a bit of a built-in hypocrisy too. And again, I'm of the mindset that big businesses already tell us what to do in our lives enough. The last place I want them to tell it is actually with how I speak.
Right. And it
The
does go
problem
into
is,
a little
though,
bit. A few
Facebook
people mentioned.
owns. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go
No,
ahead.
no, go ahead.
No, I said a
You're
few
the
people.
guest. You go.
A few people do talk a little bit what you're saying in the book, like kind of they do, get into that a tiny bit.
Yeah.
But the way you worded it was very good. I wish I could have included that in the book. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, that's the thing. Like we are like right now, if you look at it, I just saw Bill Gates do some really dumb thing about free speech and misinformation, gobbledygook and stuff. He's a big company trying to tell people what to say and not to say.
What the thing?
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
We have come to I think honestly we are having a hard time trusting each other now. The idea of some big government or big corporate or big whatever getting in and trying to get involved in speech is only going to divide us further. I don't think it's honestly, I don't think any of these companies have our best interests at heart. And that might be me just being a little cynical, right? But that's just how I believe it. So, and also, frankly, I think they're incompetent. So, the last thing I want any of these companies to do is try to, again, they don't know what's right speech anyway. Look again, I got Facebook warned for crackers. Seriously. I mean, these are the people you want to control that kind. No, they can't even get that right. They're going to screw up everything else. So why bother? I mean, and that's kind of how that's how I see it. I think it's much better that we as people talk to each other as people than let a company try to do these things.
Now, the problem is, and I don't agree with the way it's handled, but when we are using a product for free, we are actually the product. Mm-hmm. And that's why they're controlling things. We don't actually have free speech on their platform. It's their platform. We're using it, and their algorithm is creating advertising and viewing and I forget the other word I'm looking for. But anyways, they use what we use to sell something else. And so that's why they're policing it based on their own rules. They allow us to use it for free because we are their product. And they're beholden to their shareholders, to their advertisers, to companies that are actually paying them.
Mm-hmm.
But they're also kind of beholden to the laws of the states they live in, too. If I'm not mistaken, Facebook's based in California, right?
I think it's questionable when it's an internet company.
No, because it's murky because what happens, like companies have it, like California is very pro free speech, for example, and they have a history of, even when companies try to curtail speech, they have a history of forcing companies to stop. Well, I'm not saying, what I'm saying here is that if you're going from a point of view of precedent, it's questionable how much power they actually have. The real issue is who's going to go after these companies to enforce those laws that are already existent.
Who's got enough money to go after?
Yeah. I think that's the real thing. But if you're looking at it from a legal perspective, I'm not sure they legally have the right to do it, right? And that's because, again, it's tailored based on the states they live in. They're all of them are subject to whatever laws of the land they live in. So, and the world tends to run on precedent. So, again,
interpretive precedent. But let's not get too.
You're getting into volume 2 of the book. No, I'm kidding.
That's all good.
Volume 2.
And argument's over. It's all good.
To pull it back up to the surface a little, we're beholden to the algorithms that are now telling us what we can and can't say by means of just flagging words.
Yeah,
those words.
Right. It's several. Like when someone had to bomb the basement to get rid of a flea infestation, that was flagged. Oh, you mentioned mentioned the word hang. So a friend of mine, he wrote, "Oh, Mark, I haven't seen you in a long time. We have to hang, Mark." But he forgot to put the comma. So it said we have to hang Mark instead of we have to hang pause Mark.
No.
So he got in trouble.
Punctuation matters.
Yeah, so grammar matters. The grammar,
Punctuation saves lives, people.
yeah. And another one was it doesn't not only words but sayings. Like right now we're shooting the breeze, but you can't say that on Facebook.
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's a bad
And,
word.
I'm exaggerating a little bit, but someone was saying happy birthday. I'm gonna slice you open and count the rings to see how old you are. And again, slicing you open.
Yep,
So
yep.
again, if a human being would understand the joke and get the joke and know what you're talking about, but an algorithm doesn't, and you cannot get through to a real. I mean, there's very few people I talked to in the book who were banned or restricted. They were able to get their issue resolved because you couldn't get through to a live person, even though they say you can appeal it or this or that, but you can't really. They use a lot of terms like Facebook jail, and you can appeal it, but there's no judge, there's no jury, there's no, I used a lot of fun puns and stuff in the book, but
What was the most ridiculous one you ran into?
Some of those were well, okay. There's a one on porn. They're trying to, which just makes sense also. And you might think, okay, porn, they should be allowed to put porn on their site if they want to too. But let's say they're trying to weed out people posting porn on Facebook. So that I have a whole chapter. And Blake Allwood, who's also an author, actually, he writes LGBTQ romance novels. So he might be fun to interview. But he had a story he was talking about a plant called hostas. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. HOSTAS.
Yeah.
And he put a picture of it, and he was thrown in jail for promoting porn. And he could never figure out why they thought that was porn. I don't know what that plant was doing. But
we actually have hostas outside.
Right. So that was funny. It's like the best little hostas in Texas. I don't know. Like,
yeah, exactly.
So that was it. That's really weird. Because I have a whole chapter. WTF did I do? What the F did I do? Because they can't figure out what it is that put him in there. Like, and then they think, well, it might have been this, but they don't tell you sometimes even, so you don't even know. So how can you correct it or not get in trouble again for that? But
right.
You never know what the trigger is. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but there was several. Some of them are more involved stories. Some of them are just one line. So someone just wrote dirty dog you. That reminds me. Somebody wrote the SNL because there you go. See, yeah, that's funny. Someone
tentacles are sexy to some people. I'm just saying.
Yeah, somebody quoted SNL from years ago. They wrote Jane. She just said Jane. That's what made me think of this.
Yeah.
You ignorant slut. So of course that's just a line from Saturday Night Live. But of course they got in trouble for using that term.
People used to say that to me in school too. Out of fun, but it was
You have no idea, Rebecca. You have no idea.
That's funny.
It's right there. I just have to
and so it's, there's humorous things about this whole thing, but then there's also a side of it, which a lot of people's businesses they do on Facebook, they're promoting books or they're actors. There's tribute acts. There's a whole chapter on this because there's Kelly O'Brien. She does a tribute act to Dolly Parton, who I mentioned earlier that I love. And Dolly Parton approved her act. It's a tribute act. She's really good. She's popular in the UK. That's where she is. And they keep shutting down her page as if she's pretending to be or fake celebrity or what do they call that?
Impersonator.
Fake impersonator. Yeah. And meanwhile, there's fake hackers all over pretending to be celebrities, contacting people left and right. They don't seem to go after those people, but the ones that have tribute acts, there's another one that does, I think, Celine Dion and several others. They keep shutting down their pages, and and these people are advertising on Facebook for their shows. So once they shut them down, it's like then they can't even promote where they're going to be. I actually also have this problem where I'm a coordinator for NSAI, which is Nashville Songwriters Association, either Incorporated or Inc. I'm blanking right now. And we do workshops all in the 50 states, songwriting workshops. So when I was in Facebook jail, I had a separate page for that, the NSAI, but all my pages were restricted. So I couldn't even post when our next meeting was coming up. Yeah. So I had to call someone, can you post make a comment so people know that we have, so it's really, it's really a hassle. And, so it's,
the other one too is, I had a professional page on Facebook. Someone complained about something. I put it on it. I don't know what the complaint was. I legitimately don't. I just got dear Mr. Pantelleresco, we got a complaint about something on your professional site. So we are suspending. They shut down the professional site, not the personal one. The personal one was never touched, which is weird because if they were going to shut me down for stuff, that's the place to go. Not my professional page is just, I promoted events, podcasts, sales, whatever the case may be. But someone can complain about you now, and you don't even know what they're complaining about, right? They're just shutting you down, and it's just like, so if someone has a bad day, or they just had a bad case, there's something in their cornflakes in that morning, and they just look at you, it's like, I'm just taking you out. I'm complaining you did this so and so thing. Instant reaction.
Yeah, and you don't even know why. Yeah, there's a whole chapter, capital punishment, which is about pages that were totally taken down. But if it's a business page, so that affects their business. But even if it's a personal page, you got all your photos up on there, memories, and a lot of those you don't have anywhere else because you've uploaded them to there, or you just, that's where it is. So it's all just gone. Like it's really bad, that part.
Mm-hmm. And I think as authors, we've all kind of experienced that, or had a friend who has experienced that through something being misinterpreted on a book cover or a title or something, and that can really tank your business.
Yeah. So
Rebecca says, I had a book cover rejected and my entire backlog of books thrown in Amazon dungeon because they mistook the crook of an arm with letters over it as graphic. Mm-hmm.
I think someone. Yep. Yeah. Some people, they took a picture.
I have no idea, Rebecca. Not even a little bit. I don't know.
Sometimes people take a picture in front of a movie poster or something, and the algorithm says, "Oh, that's pornography," or this or that, and it's not, or it's something Facebook even posted already, and someone reposts it, but you get banned. It's like that's the one there's a lot of those in there too. It's like, wait a minute, I got this from you guys, and now you're banning me. Yeah.
Right.
So it's actually what's encouraged me to go back to like doing more newsletter kind of stuff, because I realized that at this particular point, as creatives, we are at the mercy to some degree of what these companies are going to do. Hey,
I'm going back to my face.
I'm just responding to this real quick here. First, Rebecca, that was a secret, okay? You were supposed to keep it in confidence. All right, you're supposed to do that. Okay, done. Okay,
we're amongst friends. There were no secrets here. We're amongst
friends. I know. Apparently, they're coming out. Everything's coming out today. No, so what I've been quietly doing is I realized that I've been making a point to prioritize my blogs. I've been doing a travel blog on Substack, in case people are wondering what I mean by digital nomad. Again, just been backpacking across. I'm writing my adventures there, but the idea is really simple. That's mine, right? And that's becoming a much more important thing, because I just realized how fragile this is. Yeah, and so I'm like, I have to make more of a stance of creating stuff that's mine, so that in the event. Because at some point, I already know this, I'm going to piss the algorithms off, and I'm not going to care. And when I get to that point, I'm going to have a place where people can go find me. So, listen, I'm crapping on Facebook today because I just really want.
But you bring up a good point. It's kind of a monopoly almost. There aren't a lot of, and I looked into it, like what other companies are trying to do what they're doing, or other social media sites. And I looked up several, and none of them just got the traction or became as popular. And so it's almost like a monopoly. It's very frustrating that, and that, there's no get out of jail free card in this monopoly.
Right.
I think that's why a lot of people have gone to Patreons and other things to have more creative control, but that also negates the viewability, because it's a pay to play. You're asking people to pay to be able to access your stuff.
Well, there's something to that. What I would say, this is what I'm doing on Substack, right? So Substack is a very neat one, because there's a lot of stuff on Substack of all different kind of like realms. Right? There's journalism there that you won't see anywhere else. There's like scientific stuff you won't see anywhere else, and not like conspiracy, like actual real general stuff that's just you don't see regularly. And I'm just like, this is you'll see comics there, you'll see novels there, it's a cool spot. And it seems to be very, at least for the moment, free speech orientated. So what I'm doing is like what I'm looking at is, okay, I don't necessarily need the widest audience. Now I'm going to focus on who's going to be my audience, right? And I'm making more of a conscious decision there. Of all the social medias, I hate them all, but some of them have more uses than others. As a freelance writer, Twitter's useful. I hate to say it, but it's true. There's a lot of editors that do lots of calls there. There's some journalism stuff there that you can't get anywhere
Excuse me,
else.
it's not Twitter, it's X.
Yeah.
I'm never going to call it that.
No. Also, at this point, whatever. I don't care what it is. All right. So, Instagram has its own uses as well. Twitch has its own uses. Discord has its own uses. There's all these different like platforms out there. So what I'm kind of doing at this point in my career is I'm like, okay, what of these platforms actually serve me, and which ones, if I disappeared from them, would I not miss? And that I'm gearing myself more and more towards that, because I realize there's going to be a day where where all of them are going to be on some level pay to play. And okay, so the benefits of Facebook for me, and I'm just, again, if this sounds like a bashing Facebook, yes, that's partially true, but it's mostly just because from my personal use in terms of what I'm going for, it's the least useful for me. But the one thing I'll give Facebook is everybody's on it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the advantage it has.
That's the catch-22,
right? But that's the only advantage.
Caveat to that, because it's not everybody anymore. It's like everybody's mom is on there.
And the older people, young people are not. Yeah, that's true. But I find it the easiest to use and the most people on it, and and to what you want to do. Like Instagram, it's harder to put a link and they can just watch that video, I feel like. Where Facebook, you can post a link and there's certain things that are just easier, but younger people don't tend to be on.
No. So like like what I'm saying is, like, everyone, like some of these social, and everybody's a little different, by the way. I'm just going to say that up front. But there are certain social medias that serve you better than others, and I think what it comes down to is, okay, which ones do I think serve me best? And those are the ones I want to go on. Which ones I have no idea about? That's for me TikTok. That one hurts my brain on a lot of levels. Right? And Katie's just laughing.
Yeah, I'm just like,
it is. No. And Anita, I'm not saying it's not bad. It's not about what it's good for. It's what's good for you for. Mm-hmm. Right? And that's kind of where I'm like, LinkedIn has its uses. That's something we someone no one talks about.
And I have a bunch of things on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
So JD.
No. So so even OnlyFans is an interesting one, right? So I'm not.
Can I promote my OnlyFans page? No,
yes, do it.
Yes.
No. But it's just you're having, like, all I'm saying is, I think all of us have to consciously yes. So all I'm saying is, for all of us, is this is a point in the crossroads where you gotta look at yourself. Okay, which ones actually work for me? Which ones don't? Which ones? Yes, you do, Rebecca. Yes, you do.
Let me play devil's advocate, though.
Sure.
For many people in the creative field starting out, they almost have to have that scattershot approach before they can narrow down and find what's working for them. So they have to play in all the different playgrounds, and that's where that Facebook jail or Twitter jail or whatever social media you're on jail really screws you up.
Mm-hmm. And if I wasn't a writer, I honestly at this point would not be on social media. So I mean, because I don't know.
I use it a lot for as a writer and a little bit as an actor and all that stuff. But the one good thing too is keeping in touch with people. Like, I have relatives in Turkey who are on my Facebook page, so I don't see them. They're so far away, but I feel like I'm staying in touch with them. Or friends in different states that you almost feel you don't see them in person, but at least you're seeing what they're up to and you can talk to them, even on a Facebook. Well, I guess you can always do Zoom and things like that. But so it does have certain purposes too outside of business stuff. Sure. But and it's funny, you mentioned something about getting off Facebook or for a while or something. And there was a woman who she was off Facebook for a year, and she wrote a whole article about what her life was like being off, maybe all
Yep.
social media. I don't remember, but that was a
that's
very
hard.
interesting. She said, feel free to use this story in your book. So I did. I didn't know her at all. She sent it to me, but and then also some people take their pages down. I actually interviewed Stella Parton, who's singer, actress, and songwriter. She is related to someone you all know, but she's had a lot of her own things. But she took her page down because there was so much hateful stuff on it. She just like, I can't deal with it anymore. And she took a page down. But finally, she had some fans that wanted her to come back, and so she did, which is good because. But
you mentioned earlier something about how the algorithm is trying to avoid hate speech and whatnot. But I've noticed, especially on Facebook, and maybe, to other extent, I don't go on Twitter anymore. Twitter was one really bad about it. But a lot of what the algorithm feeds you is a lot of the negativity and stuff. And my mood, I'll log onto Facebook just to scroll and catch up on stuff. And I will be in a bad mood because I just see a wall of negativity.
And
they actually do that on purpose.
On the top of things is a really good thing. And closing out all of the sponsored things, all the things that are fed to me and all of that, it's a pain in the ass, but you do it enough times, they stop serving that crap to you.
Yeah, but you have to go through the work of doing it.
Yes.
So you were about to say something too.
I'm tired, so go ahead.
Yeah. Wait, you said something that was
the wall of negativity when you log in.
Oh, I read somewhere they do that on purpose because they want people engaging, and because what they engage is they have different opinions or different and the algorithm will intentionally hook up or make it post on pages they know it's going to cause trouble.
It's that poke in the bear just to get you to stay there, but it does the same thing. It aggravates you. It makes you angry. Yeah, that's not helping.
No, it doesn't on
videos
purpose.
On YouTube. Yes,
no, it does it all the time. Like what'll happen is they'll put you. I notice it's like I'll see a lot of political things on there that I vehemently, and they're usually at the very, very top of my thing because they want me to fight.
Yep.
Now, for my solution for the last 3 months has been really simple. If you've gone on my Facebook page, you see nothing but travel stuff because that's what I'm doing. So I would say I've escaped 95% of it. Now, every once in a while, I'll still throw a comment here and there, but it's not like it's now it's coming from the perspective of I've literally walked across and seen it all with my own eyes now. So I have it gives me a very fresh perspective on it. But yeah, no, it's designed because the more we fight, the more the data mines us, the more money it makes. Yep. It's the business of it. They figured out a long time ago that conflict was the way to make the most money with it, right? And unfortunately, this is the other thing too. We're all to some degree suckers of it. It's just really easy to get.
I go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah. We all done it. We all do it.
And yet, if you say cracker, you're in jail.
That's right.
That's what's so funny. It's just they're getting the wrong things. They're getting the wrong.
Yeah. No, it's just like I said that I'll never for the rest of my life. I will always remember that Facebook and Facebook got mad at me.
Facebook does not like crackers.
No, it does not. And that should be the title of this.
Hey, but you said Ritz. You said Ritz crackers, not saltine crackers. Maybe.
Yeah, Ritz crackers. Yeah.
Are you sure you didn't say that? The other thing that people say sometimes, something out of Ritz. No, you didn't.
No. Then I would have got for sexual content. That's not what I got.
That's right. Exactly.
I have traumatized Katie.
I love to. We've moved into like Gen Alpha speak now to replace words that we know are triggers with something else that's just equally annoying to say. You look like you want to say something.
No, because you reminded me so instead of using certain words, some people found ways to trick the algorithm, like using pictures. So someone wanted to say hose be lion. So they put a picture of a hose, a water hose, and then a bumblebee, and then a lion, like the animal. So they were saying hose be lion, which they would have gotten banned for, but the algorithm doesn't understand the pictures. So there are ways of getting around it.
Well, if you remember, the way to prove you're human is to be able to select the correct pictures. That's why the algorithm can't get it.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
which of
Oh,
these is a
yes.
traffic light, which is right, which of these is a bus, and then well, if it just shows a little bit of the bus, am I supposed to check it?
Oh, I
You know,
hate those.
Yep.
Yeah.
I just check it anyway. Yes, that's.
and my
you know
eyes
what?
aren't good to begin with, so I'm like, like.
Yeah.
I'll just hit them all. Whatever.
Leave one out.
Yeah.
You know it's not what they're asking.
But there's real hackers hacking people, and those people are not caught. They're going after
Right.
like these stupid, expressions, like
Right.
so.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And we can laugh about it, but it does really harm some people.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We can
Oh.
talk about the business side of it.
Yep. And also during the pandemic, when people couldn't go out, they were really, more on
Yeah.
social media. So if they were banned at that time, some people said it really affected their mental health because,
Oh yeah.
that was their way of, conversing with people. So if you can't for 30 days, you're banned or restricted and you can't go out anywhere because we will, what do you call it? Quarantine and stuff. So a few people told about that. And, I get enough going on in my head that I don't, I don't need all that stuff.
Yeah.
I have too many characters in my head.
Plenty
and
of
I'm
company
like,
up
Yeah.
there. It's all good.
I was okay in that respect, but some people really weren't, but.
Oh, Anita, unalive. Yeah, that's the one that really gets to me. Every time I hear it, I'm like, come on.
What does that mean? Unalive? What does she mean?
That is the replacement word for suicide.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah. So that's how they get around it when they're doing videos or when they're posting stuff.
Oh, yeah.
They'll use the word unalive.
Yeah, and there's
Okay.
some other things that can't be said either.
kill is one, right?
No, you can that one you can it's all in the they get the context of that one a little bit better.
Mm.
You can't talk about the certain virus that must not be named,
Mhm.
right? You can't say that word. You can't say the word. You can't say that one either. In Canada, we can't actually share links right now,
You
right?
can't share any links
No.
to anything? Did
No.
music
Well,
video?
no.
Oh.
We can't share links to news articles.
News articles. Okay.
Yeah. But the official reason is Canada demanded money from Facebook. Facebook basically said we're not going to serve you. But it's not just Facebook; it's Twitter and all that stuff too. So you can't actually share that. So the way around that I figured out was I will put the link on there and I will space the link out. So and I spaced it out. So all I got to do is put it together and people can read it. So then I get around that restriction. But like I said, there's a lot of like something I said earlier, there's a lot more. I mean, for what it's called, what it is, there's a lot more censorship controls on these social media platforms than there ever has been. I wish for 2019 Facebook, as crazy as it was sometimes, it was a lot simpler.
Yeah. And you actually saw what your friends were writing instead
and this isn't just the old man yelling
survey.
at clouds and then they're yelling at me back. It's just honestly, it's very silly to me that this is what we've come to on here.
Mhm.
Like the unalive thing. That honestly, like, can we just be adults and talk about real stuff? That's what I want to do,
Mhm.
and I want to make fun of the word crackers a little bit more, just because. But that's. But, I mean,
There's a Barbara Mandrell song called "Crackers." You have to go look it up. It's
I will. I totally do.
in the 80s. Like you can eat crackers in my bed anytime. About arguing over silly things. But you reminded me of that.
Just my day. I'm gonna have you send me that song, and when I leave Facebook, when I notice I'm gonna leave it, that's gonna be the last thing I put on there.
So go ahead and play yourself out with that.
Why not?
So what can we do though? I mean, we obviously have to play by their rules or be put in
Because
Facebook
they're a
jail.
platform. Yeah.
I will say they've gotten better in the last few months. I think because my book came out a few months ago, I think it's helping. No, what's happening is I've noticed not as many people being put in jail. They're at least getting warnings now.
Okay.
When I was writing the book, no one was even getting a warning. They just all of a sudden they were banned, restricted, whatever. And no, if they had said, this, we find this, can you remove it? And then at least you have a choice to remove it or not if you want to fight it or whatever. Mm-hmm. But so they've gotten a little better. I'm not hearing about as many people. There's actually Facebook jail pages on Facebook with thousands of people.
Not surprising.
Yeah. And but I feel it's gone. So at least with that, they're giving you a chance to change your wording if you want to, or at least a little more of what the issue is. Let's say, still stupid a lot of times what they're saying, but at least they're telling you, you might want to take this down.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So
although that's better than outright banning you, but still, it's kind of annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, they also will sometimes they'll shadow ban you, which is like they'll make your responses a little less on the algorithm priorities as well. They Facebook favors that. Twitter pre-Musk. I don't know about so much about post-Musk. I'm not on X, Twitter, whatever. I'm on fucking Twitter. I'm on Twitter, right? I'm not on it. I'm on it for journalism reasons. I'm not on it for like any other reason at this point. And so I don't know if it's how bad, because I'm very business-like on that one now. But bannings there seem to be a lot less too. That might be Musk. That might be just how their algorithms work. Right. But what I've noticed is like what Facebook tends to do sometimes, if they didn't want certain information to come up to the surface, they make you lower your algorithm response time, right? Right. Down list. It wouldn't outright ban you that way.
Lower on the news feed or something.
Yeah. So
that was another punishment. Yeah.
So that one's the one they favor the most. They're trying to move more in that direction. Zuckerberg just came out with something like a public statement about like some of their mistakes in the past. This might be the other thing too. I don't know what that's going to lead to in the long run, but that's
a little bit better than having your page taken down when it's your business.
I still got my business page is still down on Facebook, or actually it still exists. I can't access it. I don't. It exists now. It's visible now again, which I guess is good, but I can't do anything with it. But again, so like for me, I'm kind of treating it that the writing's on the wall, and that I have to build my own platform a little bit more, even if it's just. I'd rather have 100 loyal people per se than, and I think that's where we're all gonna. I think on some level, regardless of like how we play by the rules or not play by the rules with these algorithms or these social media companies, I think in the back of our heads we gotta kind of look at, okay, let's build our own thing too, just in case something happens. I think that's actually a prudent thing to do. I would strongly recommend it. It doesn't have to be like what I'm doing. It can be whatever you feel comfortable doing, but at least go, okay, you know what? I have my own little corner of the universe. I'm going to talk about something. I'm going to talk about glitter and how it never goes away right here.
Oh, I thought you meant
right.
Glitter?
Glitter.
The Mariah Carey movie? No, okay, I'm joking.
No, maybe. That's the second form of glitter. but I mean, I do think from just a business sense, even if nothing else, you should at this point, everybody should be developing their own. It's almost like going back to the very beginning of how this was done.
The newsletters, blogs,
yeah. You almost have to go back to that a little bit, because it's
I never stopped.
Yeah.
I only
you mean like newsletters, emails, newsletters, or
direct contact with your people.
Yeah.
Although, I feel like we're being bombarded now with emails from everywhere too. So it's like, even from people it's like, you'll open it up, but you just like, I know some people they're so over emails now too.
Yeah, I kind of like delete. So yeah.
No.
There's still 1,000 on there. New thing. I deleted all these.
No. There's no perfect solution. There really isn't. But I think at this point, there's one thing this has taught me. It's like, they can snap with fingers, you could be gone.
Yeah.
If that's the reality we're living in, then I would rather Jane delete all the emails I send her way.
I don't. There's people I do read.
No. I'm not trying to guilt you.
And there's some facts that we have been amusing.
Yeah, but no, but
enlightening.
Yeah. So yes, yeah. So I have some funny stories on my subject. Just saying, but
that's a good point though. You do about having your own personal space on the internet that is yours to reach out to your fans. And I want to turn this to you, Sudi, real quick, just to ask then, because we're getting close to time. Because you know all of this, because you've read, you've written this book, you've experienced it yourself, you've seen other people experience it. How is that tweaking your way of advertising this book and getting it to as many readers as possible? What are you doing as far as advertising? What social media are you willing to use? And are you worried about something you say banning you there?
Wait, it's funny because I use Facebook and Instagram and not X. I'm not on Twitter, but I think I did one thing on TikTok. I'm not a TikTok person,
Mhm.
but and I do also send emails to people I know about this stuff as well. But a lot of it is promoting it on, and also on shows I go on sometimes too. But he just my thought just went right out of my head.
I hate when that happens.
I know, it's like,
That's okay. That's all
oh, I
right.
knew what it was. No, I know what it was, because it says Fork Social Media, and when I was talking with the guy who did the cover, he posted on Facebook, "Oh, I did this cover for this book," and I think he said, and then Facebook almost took or banished him for the cover or something. Like, so someone might have picked up on it, but they didn't. I think they gave him a warning, but they never did anything. But it was almost like, okay, but Facebook is the best place to promote it in a sense, because people on Facebook are going to relate to it the most.
Yeah.
And again, I wanted to call it Fork Facebook, but I called it Fork Social Media.
Yeah.
For obvious reasons. And so, and I'm obviously, you're asking how to promote it and where, or will it get in trouble, because I think Instagram, again, didn't have as many issues with Instagram, but one time I said, that person speaks with forked tongue and they can go fork themselves. It's the word fork that they really don't like, I realize. But meanwhile, you're not using the other F word, which they probably don't like, or actually they don't seem to mind the cursing.
No, they don't. They don't, trust me. They don't mind F-bomb.
Yeah.
I use them all the time. Don't worry about it.
Not even that. So, but that is a real. I do, and I kind of joke, like, buy the book before it gets banned. Like.
Mhm.
So I don't know. And again, if they did really come after me with the book, but they're just real stories from real people, and so I don't think there's anything that can, like I said, and I did title it so it wouldn't be so in their face, in their Facebook, in their Facebook face. So yeah, but
And do you have your own website that you can promote your stuff on? Do you have your own newsletter?
I don't have. I have to figure out how to do a whole newsletter thing. I do have a website like SudiRick.com. I have a YouTube page too that has some videos for it, and my other music videos and things like that that I do. But where else do I? Yeah, I mean, there's LinkedIn, like you mentioned, but I'm really not on LinkedIn a lot. But I think, and then for books, though, Goodreads and things like that, you try to do stuff on those as well. But yeah, but that's the way to promote stuff, is on social media mostly.
Right.
Yeah. And that's where we get in trouble.
I'm trying to get on KTLA News, but I haven't been able to.
No, but you have actually, I think, a gold mine for a way of a promotion opportunity here. Actually, I honestly think is if it was, so I'm just gonna spitball for like a minute or two. If it was me, right, I would just play off the forbidden part of this way more than you already have, because here's the thing, I would actually do this is going to be banned eventually, and then I would just have the image come down, and then just have a couple random stories show up, right, and then every time you get a warning or a ban, you create a site, you create dummy sites that have all this stuff up. And every time one of them gets banned, your real page, you show the bans. So what happens? So now you've created this neat little advertising spiel
that they're banning.
Right? I just think you have a natural gold mine to promote the book based on the fact of the subject matter. I would actually almost seriously, I would be looking for ways to be intentionally banned, but do it in a way that doesn't compromise your main account. I'd be going out of my way to do it, because this feels like such a slam dunk.
I like it. The book social media doesn't want you to
read. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then literally get yourself banned. But not obviously your main account. And folks, I'm not necessarily advocating that for all books. This one is kind of this one word.
Yes, exactly. This is making fun of social media.
Yeah. So this one works. Mm-hmm. So I would be playing on that so hard, and because it's right there. And you're talking about something that will again, we've all been in Facebook jail. We've all been warned. We've all had people talk about us. So I would be taking that. I would create an account to be not necessarily as offensive as possible. Just be silly. Just all the stories that got, you've got a whole book of stuff that that got people in trouble. I'd start putting those posts up and see if you still get in trouble. Yeah. And just because, and then if you do, on your real account, you have yourself follow that account, share the bands, like screenshot and share the bands on your real account. So now you have like that. I don't know. This is just me spitballing off the top of my head here, but that just like I almost feels like it tells its own story.
I see the appeal.
Yeah.
I do. I see the appeal. And I think that book will definitely speak to a lot of us because we've been through it and we love reading things that, shared experiences really connect.
We like to share our pain.
Yes, we do. Misery loves company, right?
Right. That's why I did. Yeah. Because the last time I was on your show, I was sharing my pain about catering because the book, how catering sucked the life right out of me. So I do take my pain and I try to find the humor in it and hopefully people enjoy it.
I love it. I love it. Well, we'll make sure that your link is in our description on the show notes here on YouTube so that people who are watching this will be able to find the link to your website and to the book, which is on Amazon.
It's on Amazon. I think Barnes & Noble online also. I know Studio City, Barnes & Noble has a few signed copies in Studio City, California, but mostly Amazon and Barnes & Noble online, I think, yeah.
And that's pretty much where everyone shops anyway, so that's where you want it to be.
Amazon is kind of another monopoly almost. I mean,
it is, and it's another one that has been known for banning authors for things. It's problematic history with Amazon. We have a lot.
I think I have 23 good reviews so far. 5, like it's a 4.9.
No, that's great. Congrats, dude.
See, it's connecting with people already.
Yeah. So
misery loves company. That's all I got to say.
Yes,
it does work.
It's a nice coffee table book.
Yeah. So
I've been told it's a quick read by Evelyn Wood speed readers, but no.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you have any in-person promotional things that you're going to be doing? Any book signings
I may do one in Barnes & Noble in Palm Springs in November. I'm waiting to see if I'm doing one. I did one in Calabasas, like just a book signing, but I haven't planned any big events, but I want to do, I'd like to do another somewhere else in Palm Springs besides the Barnes & Noble also if I can, but it's hard to do the live,
It is.
Things, it is. But I enjoy doing them if I can. Like with my first book, Rainbow Relatives, I did a live thing in Long Island at this bookstore that's no longer there, but had been around for years. And Bill Clinton did one like the month after I was there. He got more people to come to his, but that was like so much fun. I had people from high school that I hadn't seen in 30, 40 years that came out to it. And that was fun. So I do like doing them, but it's expensive to travel or, so.
Mm-hmm. Now, indie shops, I've noticed, have been really good about letting authors come in and do signings. I know in our area here, we've got a couple that are just always looking to bring authors in, which is great because it feeds the community. It lets the author have a platform, a place to sell their books. It's a really good thing. As opposed to Barnes & Noble, which is the big box store, which are sometimes not as easy to get into.
That's true. But yeah, I would love to do one in Vegas, so I'll look into that. Like, because I have some friends in Vegas I can stay with, and
look up Copper Cat Books.
Copper Cat.
I'll look it up too.
They do a lot of author signings. They love indie authors out here.
Copper, COPPER.
Yeah.
Okay. And Cat, you said books?
Yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, Josh was telling me there was all sorts of these little indie bookstores all around, all down Maine.
So literally, I'm Rockland. Yes, I'm always going to say there's this rock. It's called Metro Rock Cafe. It's also a bookstore behind the coffee shop. It's actually a really cool spot. Probably it's a toss up between them and the city's Dunkin' Donuts for the nicest staffs I've ever been served by. Right. So I know that sounds really strange, but again, when you're backpacking, hitchhiking, doing whatever to go across the country, you definitely notice when people are being really kind to you. And yeah, so those two spots, like the bookstore it's a neat spot. Like you just, again, the book, the space, the event, but in the bookstores, but yeah, just great staff and great people there too. And so definitely if you guys are in Maine, check that out.
Yeah, the indie places are
up north. that's up north. Down east, up north. Don't get that.
Your directions are all wrong.
No, but again, some distance is relative. I crossed Ontario, Canada, and anyone wants to look at the map how big that province actually is. After that, everything seems kind of small. So, yeah, you're like I can't. I can look. I can't believe you did that. Nor can I. Anyways, Sudi, that your book sounds awesome. Legitimately. Actually, I you guys don't mind. Can I ask one last question? What's your favorite story that you heard from people? Like, what was your favorite?
One of them was the Dolly Parton impersonator, just because I'm a huge Dolly Parton fan and I could talk about her and quote some of her songs within what I was saying cleverly and stuff. I already talked about some of them, I think, but my favorite one the bomb in the basement one was kind of, I thought, one of the most ridiculous ones because they had the flea infestation with the cats. So that was just, and a lot of them looked just small, like the sillier, I think the quote was, or the most misconstrued made it funnier. You know, like certain ones sound like, okay, you might be able to see why they were, but I know there must be one.
I'm still
I keep looking over this way at the book I'm trying to remember what some of the other stories were.
No, it's all good.
One of my favorite chapters in the book is, you know how people, I think it's called bamboozling the bots is the section, bamboozling the bots, because there's a lot of bots that they don't do anything about either. You get these, oh hi, you noticed we were recommended as friends and I don't know why, and I tried to friend you but I couldn't, and you're very handsome, could you send me a friend request, and I love your content, and it's the grammar is really bad and you can tell it's not a real person. I don't know if you guys have gotten these at all. So what I do is I have these fake conversations back with them. And I said to one, well, yeah, I'd love to become your friend, but I'm really trying to get a green card. So could we get married? And then they say, what? And I'm like, yeah, I want to have 10 kids. I hope that's okay with you. So I have this like half a paragraph conversation back and forth with this fake bot, but I included some of those conversations in that chapter, I think that's my favorite part, because it's just me being a wise ass. And it's like, I don't know if a bot behind the bot is a person, you know, I don't know how that works as far as, because they're obviously trying to get you and then hack your
profile.
Yeah. And they're trying to hack you. So when they always comment on my posts, they'll say, oh, and there's nothing to do with the post. You've come up in my feed. And it's, you know, we've all gotten them. And just the grammar is so bad. And it's overly complimentary. Like, all right, if someone says I'm handsome once, I'm like, okay, they're telling the truth. But when they say it like 3 times, okay, now I know you're full of it. Like, you know.
There you
go. Yeah, my son has a favorite pastime of playing with AI bots, because it's just hilarious to see what responses you get back. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, and I forget what the ones I did, like 3 or 4 of them that I talked to these people, and it's
that's so fun.
I thought that's just fun.
I can't wait in about 10 more years when AI themselves start developing it, like some more of our idiosyncrasies, including like their own version of ADD and their own versions of like.
Oh my God, ADD AI. That's
I saw something recently about because AI has been trained on the internet and the internet is full of trolls, that some AI has been rickrolling people in answers, like literally sending them to the rickroll video, because it's what happened so many times online.
No, like absolutely, like just our own ears. If they're learning from us, that means they're gonna get all our good and all our bad. So that means at some point we're gonna have like the dumbest robot ever, right? Like seriously, we're just gonna have it, and you're gonna be like, how do you exist? And knowing our luck, that will be the spam that survives the apocalypse. All right. Knowing our luck, because I have a theory that spam is the equivalent of a cockroach on the internet. So because it's the equivalent of a cockroach on the internet, like when people examine the archaeology of the internet, it's going to be our spam. It's going to be porn bots and idiots, right? Idiot bots. They're gonna look at our culture and go, I gave Katie a headache.
What's going to happen though, too? 2,000 years from now, they're going to be saying some really crazy shit about her.
No, they're good. No, they're going to call us. It's like this generation was crazy. They were right. They were out.
Well, hopefully we'll be around in 2,000 years.
Yeah.
Or not us, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to be 2,000 years old. That's like fake skin and no, thank
Beyond
you.
your fourth reincarnation by then.
Well, I actually, I hope not. I just think that 2,000 years. It's like, who was that guy? I hope that they
in
know.
the year 2525.
That's right. That's right.
I'm really dating myself with that song.
I'm there with you.
Well, on that note,
It was an off keynote, but on that note.
that's a good spot for us to end tonight. Sudi, thank you so much
you.
for sharing your book with us. I think it's an amazing book. I can't wait to take a look at it. For
Well, thanks
everyone
for
who's
having me
looking
on.
for the link, it is in our show notes below. Check it out. Go find it on Amazon. Go follow his website and find him on social media so you can see when he gets banned.
That's right.
Yes.
And Josh, lovely to see you again. Hope we see you soon and good luck on your adventures.
Yes, thank you. It was great to. Thank you for letting me come back on your show.
Always. Oh, you know
Yeah.
you're always welcome back.
Here.
Yeah, exactly.
I said you were to come on the show. You were to sit out by the fire. So
No, I like I said, honest to God, it's really fun. I have a permanent image of her now that I'm going to keep with me for the rest of the time. Involves her in a Mustang. She knows, and that's all I'm going to say on the air because it's great. It's great.
Okay.
Yeah, and it should be in her author bio. It really should because it's funny, legitimately funny. Yeah, we can all tell that story out the air. Anyway.
All right. Well, speaking of which,
Thanks.
I'm not sure when our next broadcast is, so stay tuned and we will post it up once we've got another one scheduled.
yes. Yeah.
But that should be, I don't think we'll be on again in October, so it might be November.
Yeah, I think you're right.
It's
The
October's always the
26th
crazy
The
month.
26th is depends.
Yep. Nope. That's
Okay.
a bad day.
Okay. Yeah. I know the 12th and the 19th, or the 12th is closing weekend, and the 19th I'm going to be in
So
the Carolinas.
we will
Rebecca.
post it up when we've got another show for you guys. So stay tuned. Until then. See you
Thanks so
guys.
much.
Bye.
Thank you.